What's up, chess player? The German Chess Championship goes on under 25 years. It's round number 3. I have played this black, a very exciting game here. I have actually prepared this variation, bishop to g2, and now d4. I immediately want to get control out of the position here. And yes, the game was very intense, so it's going to be very instructive for you here. Knight to c6. I don't want to play c5. I want to keep the square for the knight, because later on this knight can go via d7 straight to c5, where it's going to be a very powerful piece. Of course, I need to pay attention to the b4 moves there. So my opponent played castles and now knight f6, e3, and here I have mixed it up a little bit, the variations, because I played bishop to c5, which is a normal move if they start with d3. But my opponent played e3, and the difference is that now he has the move b4. Just sacrificing the pawn here, but if I take it here with the bishop, let's say, then pawn takes on d4, and somehow white suddenly has a very strong center, and yes, the pawns are doubled. I, by the way, cannot take it, because after takes, that is going to be a huge advantage, an absolutely winning position for white, because the bishop is under attack, let's say bishop d7, now takes, and I cannot take this rook because of bishop a3. Now suddenly checkmate in one move is a threat, but moreover, knight c3 threatening to capture the queen, just an entire queen there. So the game is absolutely over here, black is losing. So I didn't want to go for that, but luckily my opponent didn't play the move b4 here, he took on d4, and now it's too late to play b4, because I cannot steal, of course, I can't still take it here on b4, but I can take on f3, and then bishop to d4, and this position is actually very good for black. So what happened in the game here is just d3, and now we returned to the position which I have prepared for the game, and knight to c3. The only difference was that my preparation was with the moves a3 and a5, and that actually makes a huge difference in the position, because if you include those moves, then I have prepared here the pawn sacrifice on e5. Now knight takes, I play rook e8, rook e1, and an amazing move here. Feel free to pause the video for a second, trying to find the best one for black here, because it's truly incredible. Rook to a6, and the idea is the rook just slides over to e6, and black is much better. It's so difficult for white to deal with all of the threats. So that was unfortunately impossible for me, because we had this position in the game with the pawns on a7 and a2, so there is no rook a6 idea, and that is why I wasn't sure if e5 is still a legitimate pawn sacrifice. So I played here rook e8, just prepared the move e5, but my opponent played rook e1, saying that, yeah, I control this square twice, if you want, you can gift me the pawn, but actually I'm not sure that it's so great. For example, e5, knight g4 might be tempting here, somehow creating some threats, but knight takes, rook e1, queen takes, bishop takes, and queen e4, and suddenly there is another double attack, and according to the engine it's +2, a huge advantage for white. So I didn't really sacrifice this pawn on e5, I just played the move h6, because in a lot of variations the engine prefers the move bishop to g5. I was analyzing it before the game, so I thought, let me play h6 to stop the entire idea. But my opponent played knight e5, and I kind of underestimated how powerful that is. The bishop is now very strong, the knight in the center of the board controls a huge amount of squares. Of course, my knight on d4 is also great. It's like a blockade here, the move d3, that is the point of the entire variation I have played. But still, it's a little bit annoying here what to do. I have played the move a5, rook to b1, and at some point I wanted to play knight d7, but for some reason I thought I can never do that because of some tactical issues. But actually the engine says there is no problem with knight d7, I should have done it, because obviously I want to exchange this very powerful knight, and also then I might be able to play e5, and then my bishop would be able to be opened, and then all of my pieces are going on, everything is active, just a dream position for me. So I played c6 here, spending a lot of time trying to figure out what to do, because I thought knight d7 doesn't work. Bishop f4. Now I removed my bishop to f8 so that it doesn't run into tempi somehow there, and also it helps with the defense if, yeah, some sacrifices or something like that might happen. And here after a3 I finally played the move knight to d7. Now my goal is achieved. I want to exchange it and then play f6, e5, completely control on the center. Of course I'm gonna have a little bit of weak squares along the light squares, but I hoped to cover it with my light squares bishop. So that is exactly what happened. My opponent played knight e4, I just played f6, takes, and now I'm preparing to do the move e5. That is why he plays bishop to g6, immediately trying to use this chance, but actually it's not a big deal. I just go e5 and still achieve my goal. I'm absolutely fine with exchanging this dark squares bishop because it's not doing anything at all. So b4, takes. Yeah, I was actually expecting here pawn takes b4 just automatically, but my opponent wanted to be active here, just saying that a3 pawn is a weakness, of course, but it doesn't matter, and he wants to get some counterplay. So I played here bishop to c8, just protecting it and saying, well, now you have to deal with that weakness. And I also have spotted a very nice tactics here. Let's take a look at it. Takes and rook a4. That was the way for my opponent to deal with the problem. Now if I exchange, then the queen is active, the pawn is protected, and everything is not that bad. But I'm playing here rook to a5. I mean, the move looks absolutely ridiculous, but it's actually the best move in the position. And the point is, like, look at the white's position. There is absolutely no move for white. Like, you cannot do anything. And moreover, I have a very interesting resource here. Which is, for example, rook f1 that has been played in the game. My opponent wanted to play f4 and create some counterplay, but no, bishop to g4, just sacrificing the bishop here, and the queen has no squares to defend the rook. So, well, of course, f3 is possible, but then the bishop just steps back, and this bishop is absolutely passive afterwards, so there is a huge advantage for black. So my opponent decided to sacrifice here with queen to g4, and seemingly there is some activity for white. But to be honest, it's just nothing. So knight c5, rook takes c3. Still, you cannot, like, you have this light squares bishop, and there are a lot of weaknesses on the light squares, but this knight on d4, it's such a beast here that you cannot do absolutely anything. Bishop a4 is impossible. I always have f5 move. Knight a6, seemingly, yeah, a very strong move, threatening here checkmate in one, and I can exchange, but that would allow some opportunities. But I just have queen d7. And now just pinning this knight on a6, protecting the g7 square, and the game is over. So that is all impossible. My opponent played bishop to h3, but now after queen e7 he just resigned because the bishop has, the knight has literally no squares to go. If you go to e6, then once again I have f5, just covering this entire diagonal, and then the knight is easily picked up. If you go to e4, the same problem here after f5, that's gonna be a fork. And yeah, the only thing I was a little bit scared of was rook to b1, because now if I take on c5, then suddenly rook takes b7 is threatening checkmate in one, and if I go rook f7, I thought there is queen to c8 check. But yeah, it's nothing special here. Even queen f8 just solves all the problems. So my opponent decided to just resign, just stopping this very, very miserable game for him. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was instructive for you. It's round number 3. I'm currently on 3 out of 3, so going good into the first third of the tournament, but a lot of rounds to go. And yeah, hopefully you support me because that is a very important journey for me.